Hello, my awesome family. How you doing? How you doing? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have you on. Yes, we're blessed. We're blessed. We're blessed. So thank you so much for joining. It's another awesome day given to us by an awesome God to do some awesome things. And some awesome things we will do with this show. We're about a few minutes off, but we are happy to be on today. Today is Friday, June 3, 2022, and God has been good to us. Second year of broadcasting the Awesome Music Show live, and we are excited that you can join us for this wonderful, wonderful show. It's really, really a pleasure. This month, we're going to be taking a turn this month because in the month of May, we were talking about passing on a godly heritage. And this month, we're zooming in on the men. And we did that last year as well because in the month of June, it's Father's Day. And I believe Father's Day is coming up very, very soon. And we want to zoom in on the fathers to encourage our fathers. The show is not a show that we're going to be bashing the fathers or talking down about men. We are simply encouraging men to take their rightful place in our society because we have boys and we have girls that are growing up who are lacking that kind of uh, mentorship and support. And we want men to take their rightful place. So we look forward to a very exciting show. And also in the for the rest of the month, we have some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guest ministers lined up. And we want them to be highlighted as well. On Monday, we're going to be having a wonderful, wonderful sister and friend. She's going to be on Monday and also on Friday. So that will be on Monday, June 6th and Friday, June 10th. She'll be on those 2 days. I'll be telling you more about that as well. And it's going to be surprising because they both have the same last names. So you will hear more about that as the week progresses because we're looking forward to having a very, very great time this month on the show. And wherever you're joining from, we want to thank you. You can post a comment in the chat so that we can big you up and you can tell us where you're joining from. And if you're on the Instagram platform, thank you so much for joining. We are also live on Dayle Music on YouTube and on Facebook, Dayle Music as well. So you can join us on those platforms if you want to see our guests. So we are happy, happy, happy to have you. And we thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your support. We'll be sharing several different ways later on this year how you can be of support to the Awesome Music Show because we do this strictly voluntarily, but there are needs to keep the show going and also to bring the show to where we really want it to go. So we want you to be a part of it, and we want you to also be able to support the show in whichever way you are able to do. And we really, really, really thank you for your support all these years. And it's really, really a pleasure to have you guys on. So we thank you for your support, and we pray that as we continue to go live, as we continue to serve you, as we continue to be inspiration to you on a Monday, on a Friday, and also there are other times when we go live. We want you to be a part of those shows as well, because we cannot do it alone. DJ Giovanni Williams, thank you so much, bro, for joining and for supporting the Awesome Music Show. Always, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So let's just give a few more persons some time to join as we await our next guest on the show. This is a long awaited show, and I'm really excited because, we've been talking for quite a while, and we are finally getting this show off the ground. First show for the month of June, and we're looking forward to the ending of June when we're going to be zooming in on men some more. We have some other persons who have indicated their interest in being on the show, and we are trying to accommodate them just to make sure that we can be of substance, we can be educational, and we can be inspirational as the show is. Also, we are looking to make some changes to the show by midsummer, so we want you to look forward to those as well, because guess what? Each time you grow, there's always going to be things that you want to be changing so that you can fit the needs of your audience and also stay relevant as we continue to serve. So we thank you for your support, and it's really been good. I want to thank every single person who joined us in the month of May for Child's Month, as we spoke about so many things. Last week we had Counselor Feliciano Thorpe, and he was on, and he was talking about the impact that he and his team, from the Pointy Least Primary and Junior High School, they are making a very, very significant impact in the society, and they are imparting knowledge. And especially, there's a success story with a young man that he was talking about, and that was a story that really resonated with a lot of us. And I want us to be aware of that. So I want to thank Feliciana Thorpe and my sister Shannon Hutchinson, so many other persons who shared in the month of May. We want to thank you so much. And if you were supposed to be on the show and for some reason you did not get to join, we are offering apologies for you, because we know that that's just beyond your control. And for all those who have been sending your comments, you've been sending in messages in the chat, I want to thank, even though I know it's very, very early, 30 Teachers Consultancy and my cousin Monica McLean. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining as well all the time, and for sharing. Brother Giovanni Williams, thank you so much for sharing and for joining as well. So as we listen to a little bit of background music for the time being, we're going to be taking our guest very soon as he joins us, and we're going to be talking about his musical career, and we're going to be talking also about his ministry, and then we're going to be going into his take on reason why men should really take their rightful place in society to be an impact to these young people. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So as we go in the show, just be blessed, just be blessed, just be blessed. In a few, we're going to be joining our guests. We're going to be joining our guests. So we want you to be a part of it. Want you to be a part of it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, bro. I can see you. I can see you. We'll be joining you very soon. We'll be getting you on very soon. Music man, bless you, bro, bless you, bro, bless you, bro. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. USA representing. One more time, one more time. Bless you, bro. Really a pleasure having you on. Really a pleasure having you on. Tonight we're going to be sharing with a wonderful brother from Jamaica, and he's going to be on the show tonight. And we want you uh, to be inspired because there's so many things that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be zooming in on his musical career, and also we're going to be talking about men taking their rightful place in our society. My sister, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fluffy underscore Kira. Thank you so much for joining on the Instagram platform. Really appreciate you being on tonight. Really a pleasure. Really a pleasure. And we thank everyone for your support. We can't say it enough because this is something that we really appreciate because we can't do the show alone. We can't do this alone. We need your support. We need all hands on deck, as they would say, because this is a team effort. And you bring one, I bring one. We all make the show a success in the end. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to take some time out to bring our next guest on tonight because it's really an opportunity and a pleasure to have him on. And we have been, trying to get the show off the ground for quite a while, but God knows best. And I believe God's timing is always the perfect timing. So tonight, I want to take some time out just to thank you so much for your patience and for being on tonight because it's really a good opportunity. And for some reason, the internet seems to be acting up in some ways. I'm not able to share my live link just yet. But guess what? We're going to be rolling on with the show just the same so that we can be a part of this wonderful experience. So tonight on the Awesome Music Show, and today we call it the Awesome Music Spotlight. I have tonight as my wonderful guest is he's an international recording artist. He's also the host of a wonderful show on YouTube. It's called Crosstalk. He's a producer, he's a pianist, he's a singer and songwriter, and also I would add he's a wonderful minister of music, a wonderful worshiper. I speak of none other tonight, ladies and gentlemen, of my brother and friend, Minister Mark Johnson. Minister Mark Johnson. My brother, how you doing? Thank you so much for being on the show with us tonight.
Greetings, man. Greetings. Boy, I'm trying to work on my audio and I'm not sure why I'm not hearing you. I'm figuring that you're probably hearing me, but I don't know why I'm not hearing you.
Yes.
I'm trying to sort out my audio. I don't know what's happening. I tested it earlier and it was quite fine. But nonetheless, I
I'm
can't hear
hearing
you
you.
yet. But thank you so much for having me. Um, big up. Blessings. Awesome to be here. I'm still working on the audio, trying to figure out what is going wrong here.
Okay. All right. So maybe you can rejoin. All right, let me see. Let me see. Rejoin. Just try to rejoin because I think if you're hearing me in the for those of you who are live, if you're hearing me on Facebook, YouTube, just let me know in the chat. I think my audio should be fine, but just let me know and we can work on that. We can work on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being on the show. All right. So are you hearing me any better, bro? Are you hearing me? All right. Guess
No,
what?
your
I'm
end
going.
is fine. I know the problem is on my end. The problem is on my end. It's not you at all.
Okay.
I just need to figure out what exactly is happening. I'm so sorry about this, bro. I tested it earlier. It was quite fine. I don't know what is happening now.
That's fine.
Just
That's
give me
fine,
a few
bro.
seconds.
All right. No problem. No problem. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just keep talking about the topic. Um. All right. So we're gonna be talking about the topic in the meantime until we get some audio from our brother. All right. That is fine. That is fine, bro. That is fine. That is fine. All right. So in the meantime, we're gonna be listening to some more of this background music until we get some audio from our brother. This is how technology goes, guys, and I'm sure those of you who are in the creative space will understand. Once you're live, then there are certain things that happen sometimes that you really just don't have control over. So we're gonna be talking, and if you want, you can send a message in the chat in the meantime so that we can talk about men. What's your take on men rising to the occasion, as we would call it, and taking their rightful place in society? Not to say men are doing nothing, but for the month of June, I believe men can do so much more for our boys, for our girls, and for those in the society who are really looking for someone to emulate, someone to be their role model. You can post in the chat what you think about the topic, and then we can also talk about it. So you can post a short comment in the chat, and we can talk about it and get your feedback as well, just before our minister comes on to talk about his musical journey, and also about men taking their rightful place in our society. I know this is a big topic. I know this is a big topic, and we want you to be a part of it. So give us your take. Give us your take on this topic. Give us your take on this topic so that we can be a part of it tonight. We can share. We can share tonight, and be able to help some boys, help some girls. I believe so many boys right now, they lack that sense of direction. They need that kind of male figure to share their experiences, to share some of what they have been going through, share some of their success stories as well, the things that has made them to be who they are today. I was listening to Steve Harvey just, I think, yesterday on YouTube, and he was saying, "Don't do what I did," because Steve Harvey, though he has reaped great success or successes in various areas, he is an internationally known radio and TV host. He's an entrepreneur. He's a comedian. You name it. Very, very, very solid, professional, and well established black man. I made add. I used a reference from him in the month of May on the show when he was talking about his life story, and even his teacher telling him that he could not be a TV star. And guess what? He said, even now that he has had success, not sure if he's still doing it, but he mentioned in one of his speeches that he has been sending her television sets every December so that she can see that same boy that she said could not be on TV. And I'm sure that's a very inspiring story. So we want stories like that for the month of May, for the month of June to continue just the same, so that we can have our boys being encouraged, we can have our boys strengthened, and we can have them know that, hey, there is more to life than idling, there's more to life than games, there's more to life than wasting time at school, wasting time in the community. We want them to know there is so much more that they can do with their time, and we will just try to do as best as we can on the show. All right. So we will be taking our guests one more time. Let me just try to see if we can share this link so that everyone will know that, hey, we are live on the awesome music show, this Friday, June 3, sorry, 2022. All right, let's try to see if we can hear our brother right now. Can you hear me, bro? So we're still awaiting our brother and friend, Minister Mark Johnson. He is the one joining us tonight live on the Awesome Music Show, and he is in the Awesome Music Spotlight. and we want you to be a part of the show tonight. So if you're hearing me in the chat, let me know. If you're hearing me, just type in the chat that you can hear me, so that we know that our audio is good on both sides, on both sides, on both sides. Okay, okay, okay. All right, all right. I totally understand. Totally understand. So we're having some technical difficulties with our brother coming on. It's difficulties beyond our control. You know how it goes when it comes to the internet and using data, or even sometimes the Wi-Fi can act up and give us so many disappointing low blows. So guess what? We're rolling on just the same with the show tonight, and we want you to just enjoy the background music that's being played. Let me see if you can you hear me, bro? Let me see if we can hear. All right, bro. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I think. Can you hear me now, bro?
Yes, I can. I can. I can.
All right. Blessings, 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 blessings. That's how it goes sometimes, bro. We can't even beat ourselves about it, because that's just how it goes sometimes. So it goes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So now that he is
Yeah,
hearing us.
yeah. It seems to be the connection. It seems to be the data and everything. So.
Okay, all right, bro. All right. So we'll try to make it quick, because we know that we have so much to talk about tonight on the show, and it's a well anticipated show for quite a while, and there's so much that we can hear from you. Being a man of music, a man of God, you're a worship leader, you are a musician, you are a host of a show as well, and there's so many sides to you. But tonight we want to zoom in a little bit on your musical career, because reading through your profile, there is so much that you have accomplished in the last couple of years, and you've been doing this for quite a while. So tell us a little bit about your background, how you started off, and how you got involved in music.
So my musical journey started at about age 7.
Great.
I began formal training at that time, and my parents tell me that when I started, I hated it. That I never liked it. Boy, bro, I cannot imagine not liking music and not liking the piano. But
At this
that
point.
discomfort was short lived, because soon after that, I fell in love with the instrument and I started to excel at it.
Okay, okay.
Repeat that.
No, I'm saying you fall in love with it now, because you're seeing what you were missing at that early age.
Well, I fell in love with it very soon after I started. Very soon after. It was just probably the first few weeks of piano lessons that I hated. But shortly after that, man, I fell in love with the instrument and, really started excelling at it. Whenever we used to go for exams, because it was formal training, you know, I was always fortunate to come back with a distinction. So I was considered like the distinction baby in the class. You know, kind of topped the class, and I think and my drive, I was always practicing. So, I became good at it. And from there, I, being a pastor's kid, born and grew a church, I was
Ah,
a member of the Sunday school choir eventually. And then shortly after that, I became the choir director for the Sunday school choir, and then a little after that, I became the choir director for the youth choir. And then some years after that, I became the choir director for the corporate era choir, which is like a combined choir of all the churches within the corporate era, within I guess in where you are, you'd call it a province, probably.
yeah.
So all the churches came together to form that big choir. And then sometime after that, I became the choir director for the national choir in my nomination. By this time, the passion was young. It was the driving force in my life. At that time, it was just all about music and ministry. Um, Even though by this time I was working as a property valuer with the government of Jamaica. My heart was music. Even when I went to college to do my degree in property violations, my heart was music, you know. And so pretty much, bro, I mean, a group of us musicians, you know, throughout the church, we used to play together at convention, crusades. You know, they were the band for the choir, the different choirs I was director for. And so we used to always talk about traveling the world and playing music and writing music and ministering all over the place. And, you know, we decided, say, boy, you know, we're talking about this too long now. By this time, it was about 10 years we were doing this together. At that time, I was about 25. Look here, man, is that a way to do this music? I would just stop chat, you know, because we're going to do the music, I would just call it a day. I would decide that we're going to do it. We started rehearsing, we started writing. The first day to record our very first single. And then the producer turned to the band leader and said, boy, you need a lead voice because Marq, you need to put back Marq on the piano because Marq is not a lead vocalist. He said lead vocalists are born, they are not made. And so I was hurt. I mean, I was hurt. I mean, naturally I was crushed. You know, but part of me was crushed, but the other side, remember the vision that I used to see of myself. Every single time I look in the future as a little boy growing up, even in myself on a stage. So I knew that music had a big part to play in my purpose. And so I signed up with vocal training right away, every Monday and every Wednesday with 2 different vocal trainers. And 1 year after the producer said that, that was 2014, 1 year after that, I released my first single in Jamaica, Trinidad and Cayman. That was 2015. In 2016, I was voted Best New Artist by some New York radio station. In 2017, I was Voters' Choice winner on a UK chart, first gospel artist to be on that chart. And in 2018, I was breakout sensation up for the local gospel music awards. And you know, when I say all of these things, I'm not bragging or anything. I'm just making the point that when you know your calling and your purpose, when you know what God put inside of you, no matter what nobody wants to say, you know, you keep going. Because if I believed that producer, we would not be having this interview today. If I believed that producer, I would have not released one single. I would have not moved ahead. I'd still be where I was at that point. And so at this point, I really just want to pause and encourage somebody that whatever it is that is inside of you that God is calling on you to do, make sure you do it. Be a faithful steward of it.
Perfect. And I was talking even earlier about Steve Harvey talking about his life story and encouraging us to do what we can do to make sure that we reach success. That word that the producer said to you could have damaged you for life, but I'm happy that even though he said, hey, put it back on the piano, take him off lead vocals and get somebody else, you did not let that word kill you. You use that word as a motivation, which is what so many young people need to do. And we're talking about zooming in on men and men taking their rightful place in the society. This is more than a powerful statement and an encouragement to all our boys, all our girls as well, because girls needs encouragement just the same. We don't want to leave them out. But we are zooming in on the men for this month of June because we're going to be celebrating Father's Day. And so I based on your musical journey, it would seem as if you've been doing music, I mean, professionally or as a solo career for a very, very long time. So now I'm listening, I'm realizing, hey, you started out a few years ago, but you have made some strides. Tell us about how you feel about the strides you have made so far, and also some of the impact, because I know you've been going into schools as well. Tell us a little bit about that too, my brother.
Well, you know, when I look back over my life, bro, I'm really just so grateful to God for the how should I put this? How should I put this? I am very big on purpose.
Yeah.
Very, very big on purpose. From essence, if something does not fit in my purpose, if I feel that something is not carrying me closer to my purpose, from my teenage years, I would not get involved in it. I don't get involved in things just because I can do it, just because the opportunity is there. You know, I'm very big on purpose. And so when I look back over my life, when I look back at the strides that I've made, as you put it, the strides that I've made, I have mixed feelings because you have seen manifest is probably 2% of what is in my heart. So the mixed feeling I have when I look back over my life is, boy, I wish I could unearth and manifest the other 98% that I'm with. You know what I mean? But at the same time, when I look back over my life, I'm very grateful for what I've achieved so far, because I don't have a manager. I've never had a label. Pretty much what you have seen over the years is really the fruit of God's faithfulness, of God's guidance and his favor on my life, and God's sovereign way of using trials and tribulations and timely unfolding of purpose to build character in me. Because the pace at which I want to move, it's nothing compared to what I'm actually doing, because I'd love to go much farther, much quicker. My heart big, I can't help it, my ambition high. But God has used in a very unique, in his sovereign way, he has used the challenges of time and the challenges and circumstances to build character and to build patience in me, just by virtue of how it unfolds timely. But at this, you know, so I'm very grateful, extremely grateful, and the man I am today because of the journey is just you can't I can't downplay it. I'm at times a better man today because of how the journey has unfolded. And so when I go into the schools, you know, as you mentioned, I've done a lot of school tours. You know, we have done our own school tours. Also, we've been invited to be a part of many school tours. We have connected with tens of thousands of students across the island of Jamaica over the past few years. And I always, the story that I told earlier on about the producer and the awards and so on, I always tell that story, even up to Saturday gone, as at a youth conference. And I share that story because young people need to understand that when God puts something inside of you, to pay attention to it. You know what I mean? Young men, you are going to become a father one day, you're going to be a leader one day, you're going to be a businessman one day, you're going to be a manager one day. You have to believe in what God put inside of you. You're a steward of it. And so it is a message carry about ideas. That's the core of my message as an artist. You know, and I think it's very particularly for men. Yeah.
Powerful. And it's really good, because I have been watching so many different things in the news, and we see boys getting involved in so much crime. We see a lot of them being killed, sadly. So I know that when you go into the action and there is a drive to do what God has placed inside of you, and I'm really proud of your various tours going into. I've been going into some schools myself, haven't done it in a while, understandably because of the change, but I'm sure the impact has been really good. Thank you so much, Minister Gibbons, and also Music Man. Thank you so much for joining. Also, Too Sweet _ Judy, thank you so much for joining us for sharing. On this platform tonight, and I have not mentioned your name, we want to thank you so much. We're talking to international recording artist Marq Johnson, Minister Marq Johnson, the host of CROSSTALK on YouTube. He's also a singer-songwriter, and also we're learning he's a classical pianist, and that's really good. So, bro, in terms of, I know you have some, you have been recording still. Tell us about any of your upcoming projects that you have. that we can look out for. And you can share some of those details with any of your upcoming projects. And then you can talk about how what your view on men taking their rightful place in our society, becoming those role models that these boys and girls are really looking forward to see. Talk to us a little bit about those two things. All right, I think we're losing Mr. Johnson's audio a little bit, but we're talking to international recording artist Minister Marq Johnson, and he is on right now. He's actually on the road as we speak, and that's understandable. And we want to thank you all for joining. We're talking to him about his musical career. He spoke about starting out in music several years ago with a band and with his church choir, going for his first recording. And when he went for that recording, he was told, hey, we need you back on the keyboard and we need a lead vocalist. That same word that the producer spoke, I don't think the producer had any ill intent, but he may have just said it out of just the moment, the rush of the moment. But look, he took that same word, went for some vocal training, and several years after, he is now recording and doing all sorts of amazing things for God in our schools, in our communities. He has been working with the Jamaica Youth for Christ for quite a while, and he has been serving in various other capacities while still doing his regular job, working with the government of Jamaica. And that's really amazing. That's really amazing. So as we wait on him to rejoin, we're going to be talking to him about any of his upcoming projects that he has musically, and also his take on the topic of men taking their rightful place in our society. So as he rejoins, we want you to just be a part of it. You can type in the chat what you think about the topic. How do you feel? Or you could list some suggestions of ways that men could show more of that role model figure to boys and girls in our society. You can type in the chat and we can share that live on the Awesome Music Show tonight while we wait on our host to rejoin. Because we know that these boys, they need that kind of support, they need that kind of energy. They need to be told that they can do this. I've seen so many boys over the years wasting time. We see on the videos, the YouTube videos, so many boys wasting time doing all sorts of stuff, and it's just not looking good for us as men. And we want to have less of them going into the correctional institutions, into the boys' homes. We want to have more of them realizing their true potential in music, in business, in the arts, whatever they choose to do, writing books, becoming doctors and lawyers, but not just on the street corners wasting their time. So we're going to be rejoining our brother, Minister Marq Johnson, as he talks about his musical journey, and also what he's going to be telling us about now is any of his upcoming projects and his take on the topic men taking their rightful place in our society. Let me know if you can hear me again, bro, as we continue our conversation. Can you hear me now? Yes, let me know if you can hear me now, bro.
Yeah, here now, boy. My connections, bro. Man, I'm so sorry about this, man.
That's okay. So what we're gonna do, we're not gonna stretch it for too long tonight. We'll have to reschedule when we can have you on another time to do a more in-depth
Hmm.
interview. But you could just tell us about any of your musical anything new that you're having coming up in your musical ministry, and then you can just share briefly about your take on the topic men taking their rightful place in our society. You can talk about those two things. All right. So I think our connection is still off a little. But guess what? We're talking to.
So right now the album.
Hey, cuz, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The Me Movement LLC, thank you so much also for joining. All right, let me know if you hear me now, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yes.
Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
I can hear you, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. So the album is going to be dropped in 2 months. I can't give any specifics just yet. Dropping the album in a few months, and it's really a fulfilling. Only say that no because it's actually happening, but it has been a journey.
All right, all right. I think we're having internet issues with our brother and friend. All right, so guess what? We're gonna have to find a way to get him back on for a full interview. Um, let's just reschedule for this interview because we really have so much that we need to hear from our brother tonight. Because the connection is going in and out. But guess what? We were happy to have him on, and it's really a pleasure. Um, Yes, so it's really awesome to have him on tonight, and we have to do this some other time because guess what? Sometimes you go live and these things do happen, and we really truly appreciate your support tonight on the Awesome Music Show. If you want to type in the chat before we close tonight, your take on the whole topic of men taking their rightful place in our society, becoming the role models for our boys, models that our boys can emulate. Just last week, I was reading somewhere where the Jamaica Gleaner posted about this young man who was using his musical titles and talents to bring his fellow students to Christ. And that's such an awesome thing. And from what I hear, he is related to a former musical icon who passed away several years ago in Jamaica. And he has been using his musical talents to talk to his peers at school. And that's such an awesome thing. So if we could have these men just, if we could have more men to show these boys that you can do it, whatever you have inside of you, is really what you need to be putting out. Miles Monroe talked about the late Dr. Miles Monroe. He spoke about going in your grave empty. And he mentioned, and I've mentioned it several times on this show, that the grave is the cemetery is the richest place on earth because he said a lot of people die with those same dreams that they never got to put into action. They died not becoming the architect or the musician or the talk show host or the pastor or the teacher, you name it. They die with all those ideas, all of those energies, all of those talents, and has been making the graveyard a rich place. So we hope that some of you will be able to type something in the chat. You can even send it after the show. We can always share it after. And we want you to be also a part of this wonderful experience. As we're looking about closing, we want you to be a part of this wonderful experience as well. And I want to tell you about also our book from our sister, the call it Lawrence, Positioned for Purpose, The Journey. And we want you to find that book on Amazon and share in that wonderful ministry. That book will make, I'm sure that book will change and transform your life. So we will reschedule with our brother at a later time. We will reschedule with our brother at a later time because understandably he's on the road, so the internet is giving us an issue, and we want you to be uh, able to hear him very well. So powerful, has so much to say, and we want him to be a part of the show in a real way. So we will definitely reschedule to have him on again. And he was talking about his upcoming album in another few months. We know in music, sometimes you make your deadline and your timeline, but guess what? Other things will always come up and it will always impact on that. So we look forward to that coming from our brother, Minister Mark Johnson. Also, we want to tell you about a show coming up on Monday and also on Friday. We are going to be having another wonderful guest in the house. Her name is also Johnson. We're going to be telling you about that. That's ironic. Our guest tonight, Friday, his last name is Johnson, and the one coming up on Monday is also Johnson. We're going to be checking out if they are related. But we thank you so much. All right, as men as mentors, be willing to share your story. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Our young men need strong role models and mentors. That's a big part of how they learn, grow, and be a benefit to those in their community. Change one by one. That's so powerful. And I'm going to be reading that again. Men as mentors. Let me sure I'm getting this correct. Let me sure I'm getting this correct. Yes. Men as mentors. Be willing to share your story, men. Be willing to share your story. Or young men need strong role models and mentors. That's a big part of how they learn, grow, and be a benefit to those in their community. That's coming from the Me Movement LLC. Thank you so much, Sister Colette, for sharing. And we want you to share and find her book. Some weeks ago, we talked about giving away a copy of her book. And I'm going to be sharing the questions right now on the show. And if anyone can answer any of these questions, then that book will be sent to you. The first question is, what is the book about? And I'm going to be telling you the name of the book again. How long did it take Colette to finish that book in terms of from inception of writing the book until it was finally published recently? When was the book officially released? Those are three questions. So if you're on the chat tonight and all you have to do is find that video with my guest Colette Lawrence, Position for Purpose. Is right on YouTube. And if you can send those answers in the chat on any of these platforms, then you will get a copy of that wonderful, wonderful book. The name of the book is Positioned for Purpose, The Journey. And it's from our sister and friend, Colette Lawrence. She has been on this show several times, and we're going to be having her again and again because she has now become a partner of the Awesome Music Show. So I want to thank you tonight for joining us. We are having some technical issues with our guest, but we hope that he will be able to rejoin us at some later time to talk about his musical journey, how he started off, the impact he has been making in the high schools and in all kinds of schools. He has been working with the Jamaica Youth for Christ, which is another charity youth organization, and he has been working with them for quite a while. Very, very awesome impact. And we know that he has some upcoming music. And also, he's going to be talking about men taking their rightful place in our society. So our guest tonight on the Awesome Music Show, in the Awesome Music Spotlight, was Minister Mark Johnson. He is an international recording artist, released several songs, and he has been doing several tours locally and even overseas, making a solid, solid impact in the society. And he has a passion for young people, a passion for men, taking their rightful place. And as the Me Movement LLC mentioned, men need to share their stories. I remember watching Steve Harvey just about yesterday, and he was just talking about men not taking the road he took because he made a lot of mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes, but guess what? He is still serving, very, very successful in talk show, in his family game show, several different things. He's a world-known entrepreneur, very, very established, and he is telling a lot of us, don't make the mistakes he made, but on that road to success, you will find a lot of mishaps, and trust me, it's really, really one of those things that you can use to share your story so that you can be a mentor and a support to other boys, to other women, other young women growing up who needs that kind of support. So as we go tonight, we know it's very unfortunate, but we're going to be going tonight, and we wish that you will join us on Monday for another awesome word of the week. That's going to be the first awesome word of the week for this month of June, and we're going to be having our sister and friend joining us on Monday and also on Friday. I will be sharing the details of those two shows on the weekend, so you can look forward to that. And definitely, we're going to be having our brother to rejoin us at a later date. So be blessed, everyone. As we go tonight, we want you to be a part of next week's show. Take care and be blessed. As we focus on men for the month of June, we want you to be blessed. And we're going to be putting something together so that we can have a wonderful show for encouraging men, and also all our boys and the girls going through school. Let's see if we can hear our brother just one more time before we go tonight. Can you hear me now, bro?
Yes. What was the last thing you heard? Because I was talking
All
like
right.
crazy.
All right, you were talking about your upcoming album, which will be launched in a few months, and I told you could talk about that, and then just give us your final take on men taking the rightful place in our society. So go ahead, go ahead.
All right, no problem. I just gave a dissertation on it, and you missed. I guess the signal
Uh,
chipped out. All right.
all right, no
So,
problem.
yeah, man. So I was making the point that the influence of a man in society is tremendous, and it's undeniable.
Yes,
And so the responsibility is for each man to first understand and master the art of leading himself. It's very critical for us to understand and master self leadership, because if
yes,
we can't lead ourselves, if we can't control ourselves, if we can't practice self control and tap into maximizing our capacity, then we'll be limited in our pursuits to lead others, a household, even just one other person,
yes,
more so the society, more so a company, more so an organization, a community, a nation. So
yes,
the first thing I'd love to just really put on the table is the necessity and the urgency and the importance of leading self.
yes,
There was a study that was done. I can't recall the exact percentages of the findings, but it really underscored the comparative level of influence of a man on a household when compared to a woman and a child. So the study showed that when a child gets saved in a household, there's a percentage of incidents of the rest of the household getting saved, right? A percentage. But when
all right. I think we're still losing your audio, bro. I think we're still losing your audio. Think you're still losing your audio. Think you're still. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have to get our brother on because tonight is really um we're having some issues with the internet from the Me Movement LLC, and this is something that we will share on the chat. Yes, bro, stop prettying up the story, my brothers. Or boys needs you. Keep it real with them. Be willing to go the extra mile in and for the long haul. It's not easy, but the change will be worth it. I believe you every word that you have said, my sister, because we know that sometimes we hide some parts of the story, and those are the parts that will be of most impact to our boys. So that's really true. That's really true. That's really true. And we love to share the stories just the same, just to make sure that these boys are getting it. Sometimes I would see them on the road, and I don't want anyone to feel that we're not talking about boys in any specific geographical location, because guess what? the these boys all around the world, there might be some countries with a less um, percentage of boys not performing, right? So I'm not talking about Jamaica or the US or whatever. Look at what happened just a few days ago in the US with this young man who went in and killed so many students, 19 plus two teachers, and injuring others. Just imagine if someone was there to talk to him just before this cruel act. He suddenly lost his life. And trust me, in the UAE, I see boys who are wasting time. In Jamaica, I see it. In the US, I see it. Most of the places I've been to, I can find several boys who would need a man to say, hey, you need to stop what you're doing. There is more to your life than what you are doing right now. So guess what? We are going to be rescheduling this show so that we can have our brother on to talk about all of these things. And for the entire month of June, we're focusing on the man, the mission, the man, the vision on a mission. That is the topic for the month of June. And we want you to share your comments and be a part of this wonderful show. So, as we go for tonight, we want you to just take care, and we thank you for your comments. The Me Movement LLC, Minister O'Neill Givens, Music Man, and all those who joined on the show tonight. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for always sharing, always coming on the lives, and for being a part of the show. We really appreciate you, and we want you to know that you are highly appreciated on the show tonight. And we want you to know that we are going to be going live on Monday again, when we will be having our friend and sister to share on the just the same, just the same. All right, so be blessed, everyone, on the YouTube, on the Instagram platform. Thank you so much. We will be sharing this link on our other pages so that you can be a part of it just the same. So take care. See you on Monday, 12 midday Jamaica time, 1 p.m. USA time, 9 p.m. UAE time, for another awesome word of the week. My name is Dayle T. It's another awesome day given to us by an awesome God to do some awesome things. Thank you so much, and be blessed as